This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling, and we have a lot to get to today. We got some more stuff that you're just not going to believe. The first thing, Jay, that we got to talk about is apparently the Mexican cartels are now telling the United States what to do. The United States is apparently afraid of the Mexican cartels, and I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. So apparently what happened is there's this big avocado industry. I don't know if you know, Jay, but every douchebag eats an avocado. You know, I mean, that's avocado ice cream like a Tom Brady. You know, I mean, when somebody says I'm going to eat avocado, you know, immediately they're a douchebag. But let me tell you that apparently it's a big industry because, you know, the Mexicans down there, the cartels control the avocado industry, believe it or not. And the U.S. Goes down there to inspect it because it's such a big industry in the U.S. that we go down there and inspect the avocado plants, I guess you would say. But the cartels actually threaten the U.S. not to come. The U.S. halted export inspections because the cartel threatened them. That's what happened. And that happened about a week ago. We just now started doing partial inspections again. I guess because the cartel gave them the green light.
Or, all right, I don't know. Maybe is it because maybe they wanted to increase security around the people doing the inspections since the threat? Maybe they wanted to take a pause and figure out a better way to protect these people. Is that possible too? I don't know.
I don't know because they didn't say anything about extra security or anything like that because these are all Customs and Border agents. They're already, you know, they are the security. But the thing is, they can only have so many people because it's an agreement with Mexico. It's not something that they just allowed to do. You know, it's an agreement with Mexico. So there's only so much they're allowed to do. And you know how the cartels run Mexico. I mean, when you elect a Jewish female to be president of a Mexican nation, you know that the cartels are running the nation. I mean, you're Mexican. You're in Mexico, right? I mean, first of all, Jewish people and women do not become president in Mexico.
Right.
So there we are. Now you got a Jewish female.
Unless they're being installed.
Absolutely.
Right. And she's horrible. She sucks anyway. She's terrible. We can't stand her.
But I think that's on purpose too.
Probably is. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe, I mean, yeah, it's an agreement. Obviously it's not our country. We can't just send our personnel into Mexico, right? Just like they can't send theirs. Well, they send their
absolutely.
They send the worst citizens into the United States, but you know, well, not anymore,
they do. They allow them to come. We had to force them to stop letting them come in.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, but maybe I'm hoping that this was because, all right, let's reassess things before we just go back in. Now that we have a threat, maybe we'll change the way we do it, or we'll change our procedure. I'm hoping that was it. And that wasn't like, oh no, the Mexican cartels are threatening us. Maybe it was like, let's take a step back. Let's see how we can do this more safely. That's what I'm hoping.
Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Not really, because if
they're threatening you and you're scared, you're going to step back and you're not going to see if they continue doing the operations and just brought more men in, then I'd be like, okay. But when you halt operations and step back, and it's not guess what? They didn't bring any more security. You know who brought in the security? The Mexican National Guard. And if you're smart, I'm not being protected by the Mexican National Guard. That's like being protected by the Federales.
Well, at the same time, it's not our country. So at the same time, maybe that's what it was. We need the Mexican National Guard. We've worked with them.
Trust
before.
them.
I'm not saying you trust them for sure, but at the same time,
most of them are the cartel.
Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, you got to say, like, I'm going to reevaluate how we do this. We have a threat because, Jack, if one of our people gets killed by a Mexican cartel member, that changes a lot of things. So, and that could escalate.
There's actually multiple cartels.
So what I'm saying is maybe
not even just one, just multiple.
well, maybe it wasn't a bad idea just to take a step back and kind of just reevaluate for a second and figure out how we can do this better. That's all I'm saying.
I never said it was a bad idea, but it's a bad look.
It might be, but
it's a bad look, bad for optics when the U.S. When the cartel says something and the U.S. halts inspections. That's a bad look.
Listen, if it was me and I had no consequences for making the decision, I would just say go and blow them all up. Is what I would say.
Yeah,
but
yeah, either that or send more men down there, but don't just stop. Don't just don't stop the inspections. That's the bad look, is the stopping. And they said,
how long did they stop for?
A week, a full week.
All right. I mean,
time.
All right. I'm not going to go crazy about it, but it is a bad look. Yeah. But I kind of maybe understand why they did it. But sometimes even though you do something for a good reason, it doesn't look good. I get that.
No. I can understand why they did it. But I mean, I wouldn't want multiple cartels, cutting my head off and hanging it from a bridge. But at the same time, it is a bad look. If I'm the head of the USDA or whoever the hell does the inspections, I send either more men down there or I say, look, you guys need to get more men up here, but I don't halt the inspections for a week. That's the bad look part. But it's okay. All right. Let's say happy birthday to Christian Radio Media. Happy birthday to him. Apparently it is his birthday, so that's wonderful. Happy birthday, Christian. We like to, if anybody ever has a birthday, that you want to celebrate, put it in the chat. We'd be happy to say happy birthday to you. We love all of our fans, all of our listeners, all of our viewers. So
happy 21st birthday. You're old enough to drink now. Congratulations.
Absolutely. And speaking of people that enjoy the show, I got a couple things I want to show people. First, Jay, I want to show them this right here. Take a look at this, guys. Okay. So someone bought one of the signed copies of the book by design, my novel. And what they wrote is something that I really appreciate. Okay. So I took out her name and address and all that because people don't need to know that. All it has is a first name and nobody's going to know who that is. So it says, I am not really articulate in public due to being a nurse in a very liberal state. And people, we can all understand that. The pressure you have from liberals, especially if they're the majority, horrible. But she said, I listen to Secret America to enhance my political understanding of our republic. Thank you for the research-based structure you give to thousands every day, Vicky. And I want to thank Vicky for her kind words. That was excellent. Thank you for purchasing the book, obviously, also. But thank you for your kind words. We really appreciate it. And Jay, you got anything you want to say?
No, that's awesome. I mean, the fact that somebody would listen to us for that, it's great.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely amazing. Thank you. I mean, we do our best to bring you the truth every day. So
the truth
to hear that is very rewarding. Thanks, Vicky.
Absolutely. And I got one more, actually. One more. I want to thank the Beast. The Beast. Look at the Beast right here. He actually he's a friend and a mega viewer. He said he's got the whole complete combo. He's got Jack Danger's by design book, which he says so far is an excellent book. He didn't say it was excellent. He put the word so far. All right, you hear that, Jay?
Being honest with you, so far you're doing okay.
You know what? I should have whited out the so far part, but it's okay. But anyways, he got the hat, and he actually just bought the audio book for his wife. So, thank you for all that. I think it's awesome to see people that enjoy the show so much that, they want to represent the show. They want to support the mission. So, I appreciate that. I think it's awesome, really cool stuff. So,
Yeah, and he said he might buy a few more hats for his nephews, I think he said maybe.
Yeah. If he gets picture, I think it's his son-in-laws, and if he gets those, I want to see pictures of all three of them wearing the hats. I told him he said he's gonna have to catch them outside of work though if he wants to get all three of them together. So
yeah, I remember when I wore the hat, he said I got to get that hat, and he did. He got it.
It's a great hat.
Yeah,
great stuff.
Other people, you could all buy that hat. That hat's available now.
Absolutely. And I'm actually going to mention that stuff right now. You can actually, first of all, go to maxassociates.etsy.com, the #1 place for USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. You get 10% off your order and free shipping anywhere in the United States. But for Secret America viewers only, you can get 20% off your order. That's double what everybody else gets. All you have to do is type in the code SECRET20 at checkout. That is promo code SECRET20, and you will get 20% off your order. maxassociates.etsy.com. Make sure you guys check that out. Also, I want to make sure you guys know that by design, the first Black president lets you experience the rise of America's first Black president as the events unfold. From the moment the CIA gave their project a name all the way to the swearing in at the White House through the lens of a political thriller where there's far more happening behind the scenes than anyone ever realized. It's fast-paced, suspenseful, and filled with twists that blur the line between official narratives and conspiracy theories. Get it on Amazon or go to our website, secretamericalive.com, to get the audio book or to grab you a signed copy with a personal message. Check it out at secretamericalive.com. And then the gear is also at secretamericalive.com. The stuff we just showed you, the stuff Jay was just talking about, also secretamericalive.com. Shirts, hats, mugs, phone cases. I mean, we got everything you could possibly think of. A nice vanilla candle. You know, our faces are on a vanilla candle. Check that one out. I like it. Anyways, just wanted to mention the vanilla candle part because that's my favorite. All right, Jay. So we have a lot to get to. That obviously, you know, the cartel thing was interesting, but do you remember Curtis Sliwa?
Oh,
Anybody remember Curtis Sliwa?
I just talked about this in my space. It's losing my mind.
This guy, Jay, and I don't know what he was thinking here. I don't know. He ran for governor. He was the only Republican candidate to run for governor.
Mayor of New York City.
Mayor. Yeah, mayor. He was the only Republican governor or only Republican candidate to run for mayor of New York. He ran against, you know, Cuomo and Mamdani, and he lost, obviously. You know, he lost. But, you know, he was for a fleeting moment, he was the hero of Republicans because we had to have him win. He was, you know, he's got the red caps, the people that keep people safe on subways. But he just pulled a Mike Lindell. And when I say he pulled a Mike Lindell, I'm going to tell you why. This man actually called out the 9/11 families, demanding that New York City, Zohran Mamdani, stay away from the ceremony. The families were demanding that. He called them out and told them to stop being sore losers, that he is your mayor. And see, the thing is, Jay, the problem is he's talking of what he's saying, and he didn't mean it to the 9/11 families in general. He meant the New Yorkers, the city of New York. You guys voted for him. You get what you vote for. But the problem is he chose the wrong time and the wrong place to do it. Okay? What he said makes sense, but he chose the wrong event, the wrong moment. That was a big mistake. It's like Lindell saying amnesty. You don't ever say anything negative when it comes to 9/11 families and survivors or first responders. It's just stupid. It's political suicide. And even though he meant it as a thing for all New Yorkers to live with what you voted for, he said he did it at the wrong time.
But here's the thing. Well, as a 9/11 first responder, it really pisses me off what Curtis Sliwa said beyond words. Curtis Sliwa is one of the Guardian. He's the founder of the Guardian Angels. That's the red beret he wears. They were the guys on the subways who would.
They are awesome.
In the 70s is when he started it, when things were really bad in New York City crime-wise, real bad. And they would be on the trains trying to keep people safe, or around the city trying to keep people safe. If people saw somebody with the red beret, they knew it was somebody that was there to protect them.
Absolutely.
Besides the police. So that's who Curtis Sliwa is. He's been around forever, for a long time, and he's run for mayor
not a bad person. It was just
stupid.
It was stupid.
And it's stupid. And he's been around forever. He's run for mayor a few times. This is the first time he got a lot of notoriety because of who he was running against.
And he was the only Republican. Yeah, he was the only one.
Yeah. This was a national race because it's New York City, and you had basically a jihadist communist running for mayor who
and
had
a grandma
very good
killer
chance of winning.
Yeah,
and the grandma killer and Andrew Cuomo. So this race got a lot of attention. And Curtis Sliwa, I remember shortly after he lost that race, he did this event with Zohran Mamdani, basically doing this kind of Saturday Night Live skit with him. And right there, it really gave me pause. I'm like, why are you treating this guy like he's normal? Like he's just some other candidate. He's not.
I didn't hear about that.
That's weird. Did. Yeah, it was strange. It might have been, they might have played it at Mamdani's inauguration, to be honest.
Really?
It might, yeah. And it was just very kind of just like, what are you doing? Like,
That
he's
is
not
strange.
like some buddy. He's not. This guy's going to
No.
try to destroy New York City and this country, to be honest. So
Already has.
he's already done a lot of damage now, and things are starting to unravel because, you know, what happens when you can't keep these promises and things are going sideways for Mamdani, as we all knew they would. But anyway, that's beside the point. For him to come out and say that you're being sore losers, and Jack, here's the thing: no 9/11 family, whether if they live in New York City, voted for Zoran Mamdani.
That's why he wasn't speaking. That's why I said, even though it was a terrible moment, he wasn't speaking directly to the problem is he chose the wrong event to do it.
If you're going to make those, if you're going to comment like that, those 9/11 families, those first responders, myself included, are going to assume you're talking to me.
That's why it was a bad choice moment.
And for you to do this, if I see you, Curtis Lewa, you're going to hear it right in your face about what you did. And now you're calling it Islamophobia. You're calling what Sid Rosenberg, who's a radio guy in New York, when he interviewed Andrew Cuomo, Sid Rosenberg made a comment basically that said, if 9/11 happened while Mamdani was in office, Mamdani would be cheering. And Curtis Lewa made a big deal about that. I said, whoa, what are you doing? And he called that Islamophobia. No, it's not Islamophobia. It's just being honest. Because Zoran Mamdani, I guarantee you, probably didn't lose a wink of sleep, and neither did anybody in his family after 9/11. I'm telling you that right now.
What you just said is interesting. What if I'm going to, on a next episode, tomorrow's our last episode of the week.
Yeah.
After this episode, before we get to next week's or tomorrow's episode, I am going to, I'm going to find a video from Mamdani from back then. I want to see how he was back in 2000, 2001. I'm going to see if there's a video of him talking about.
He's too young. He was too young. He's very young. He's
How
only
old
35.
is he now?
He's 34, 35 years old. He was like 9 or 10 years old. He was not. He's too young.
Mind.
But his father and
his parents?
His parents have made horrible statements about 9/11. And Mamdani, Jack, told the one of the unindicted co-conspirators of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, a sheikh, Mamdani said he's a great Muslim leader and he takes photos with him. So we know where he's coming from. Mamdani doesn't belong anywhere near ground zero ever, let alone on the 25th anniversary of 9/11. I don't care if he's the mayor of New York City. And what should happen that day is everybody there should turn their back on him and not turn back around until he leaves. And do not start that ceremony. Do not let that ceremony start until he leaves silently in protest, because you don't want to disgrace that place, because you don't want it to turn into something ugly. But you have the absolute right to turn your back on him.
And the best, I like that some celebrities are even calling it out. I mean, you ever watch Everybody Loves Raymond? Who doesn't like Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, his brother was a New York City cop, and
the wife,
in real life, yes,
the wife, Patricia Heaton, she was Raymond's wife. She actually called to ban Mayor Zoran Mamdani from the 9/11 anniversary in New York City. I thought that was pretty ballsy, because most, most actors and famous people are all pro, liberal, aggressive, or progressives, Islam, because they don't want to be kicked out of the inner circle. She came out and said, he should be banned from the 9/11 ceremony. I think that's awesome.
She's always been pretty outspoken, to be honest. She's been she's conservative. And I think she's very pro-life. I think that's one of the things, if I can remember correctly, she's always been very outspoken about. She's always been conservative, and for a long time, for her. So good for her. And I think she's probably at the point where she probably doesn't even care if she gets canceled, kind of thing, And this
is what we were talking about right here. This is Zoran Mamdani taking pictures with an actual terrorist from the 1993 World Trade Center. And by the way, for everybody that doesn't know, the bombing of the World Trade Center was supposed to do exactly what 9/11 did do. So he's taking pictures with somebody who tried to do exactly what 9/11 did. So that should tell you all you need to know about him and his thoughts on 9/11. That's him with an actual terrorist smiling, and that's not a fake smile. That you can tell when there's a fake smile picture. That is a huge smile on his face. Like, we just conquered New York City. First we bombed it, now we conquered it. That's the conquered smile.
You're absolutely right. The 1993 bombing was meant to take the building down, and it didn't. It failed, thank God. But there were people killed in that bombing as well. And then we know what happened on 9/11 to take the buildings down. They flew 2 planes, jets into them. So the whole thing makes you sick. It's kind of crazy to me. It's 25 years later, and we have we have a guy who I know in my heart would celebrate 9/11. I just know he would.
Okay. What if I were to tell you that a black woman was found hanging from a tree in Mississippi?
Yeah,
what's the first thing you would think?
Yeah, you would think that it was a racial crime, obviously, right? Right.
That's the first thing everybody's mind goes to. Racial.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
No.
It was her partner that hung her from that tree. And people immediately go to racial. See, the thing is, minus the partner from the headline, and you have a headline that's going to move papers. You have a headline that everybody's going to want to watch your news segment. That is exactly why they do what they do. It was her partner. There was no racism involved, but it looks like a lynching. And Jay, that's the kind of thing that every media outlet is salivating for. Oh, yeah. Could you imagine if they had a real live lynching to go film, to take pictures of, to write articles about? They would jizz in their pants.
The country would burn down, and they would want it to. They would encourage the country to burn down. But yeah, I think CNN is probably. I've seen clips on X about CNN with this one and how they completely leave out the fact of what you just talked about, that Absolutely. It was a domestic and he's black,
and that's why.
I mean, they completely don't talk about that, and that's irresponsible. Because if you just report on that, like you said, what's the first thing that people are going to jump to? Oh my God, she was lynched by a white guy. It's
Absolutely.
insanity. But because, like you said, they want to sell, they want to get people riled up, and they don't care if things burn down. It's not going to affect them. The best one of the I should say, it usually doesn't affect them. One of the greatest things that I ever saw was, remember during, I believe it was probably the Floyd riots, where they started
breaking the building glass and shit.
They were breaking up CNN's headquarters.
Oh yeah, that was in Georgia. In Georgia,
yeah, I was like,
that was awesome.
Talk about justice and irony. You guys brought this upon yourself with all your garbage. So,
they were shattering the windows. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
That was
all right. So Jay, you remember how we had an episode on the WNBA putting together a task force to define a woman? They wanted to debate a woman. Well,
yes.
Let me tell you that the WNBA, after their meeting, has failed to come up with the definition for the word woman. They have to meet again. They're going to need a few more sessions before they can figure out what woman actually means.
Jack, it's a difficult question.
It is.
What they should do if they're having trouble, bring some, like, I guess 6th graders or maybe 3rd or 4th graders into the room who weren't indoctrinated into any kind of crazy stuff, and they'll be able to tell you, oh, you know what they should do? I've got it. You know the movie Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah.
You know the little kid who says boys have a penis and girls have a vagina? He's probably grown up by now. They should bring him in. He can explain it to them like that. Or maybe just play that clip from the movie and you have your answer. And you guys are done.
Jay, the craziest thing is these are all women, and they can't define what a woman is. They're women. All of them are women.
Jack, it's a room full of stigma paralysis.
Absolutely. Stigma paralysis. Tell everybody what that means.
Well, that means that you basically, you don't want to express an opinion or a truth, because you will get socially condemned for that opinion or truth. You will be called an ist or a phobe, whatever applies to whatever you're saying. So you're a transphobe, you'll be a
racist,
a homophobe,
sexist,
a racist, a sexist, a misogynist. That's what stigma paralysis is. See, we don't have stigma paralysis on this show, and I certainly don't have it. I mean, I'm retired. I am uncancelable. I will say whatever. I will say it for you guys if you want me to say it, because I'll say it for you. If you have a job that you're worried about, I get it. Unfortunately,
and I just don't care one way or the other. So
I get it. No, but some people do, and
that's why I'm happy to say whatever.
Yeah, some people have to care. I had to worry about it for 25 and a half years. Now I don't. I'm a free agent now. So, but some people, unfortunately, they have to watch what they say because they don't want to get fired. They don't want to lose their career.
That's why we do this show, though, for them, for those people that can't.
Yeah, we'll say it for you on this show. And what should
Absolutely.
happen? This is absurdity on so many levels. What's going on with the WNBA? This league, I mean, talk about not being able to get out of your own way when you have like a Caitlin Clark and you have a Sophie Cunningham who are making people actually want to pay attention to your
Bro, the
sport.
WNBA has one chance right now, one chance to be a league that people watch. With Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, they're on the same team. Are you kidding me? You have these two stars on the same team. If you got out of your own way and actually protected those two players and stop doing the stupid trans bullshit, stop with stigma paralysis, you could actually end up with a league that has fans. I have been to one of those games. I never actually paid for a ticket and went inside, but I drove by and you can see there's no cars out there. Nobody goes to these games. Jay, they give these tickets away for free at rec centers. I'm telling the truth. WNBA tickets at rec. And Jay, even with the free tickets, people do not show up. They don't show up. Stigma paralysis. So we know that suicidal empathy is killing America. Okay, but stigma paralysis is just as bad because suicidal empathy is actively hurting yourself and others to help, to quote, help someone. But stigma paralysis is not speaking up. And the worst thing you can do is not speak up. That's how evil, the only thing you need for evil men to prosper is for good men to say nothing. And stigma paralysis, being unable to express an opinion due to fear of social condemnation, that is a term that Jay and I came up with right here on Secret America. And that right there it basically goes hand in hand with suicidal empathy. And that is what is causing the destruction of our nation. Jay, it's a mind virus. That's all it is, a mind virus.
Yeah, and it's infected so many people. And like I said, I get why people on the right are afraid sometimes to speak because they will try to take your livelihood from you for it. That's for sure.
Jay.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with our chat?
All
I see is Rumble. That's it.
Yeah, that is all I see. I don't see X on there for some reason.
There's no X. There's no YouTube.
I see X. There's a chat. People are chatting on X. I could see them right now.
Why is it not showing on here?
We're not showing it on StreamYard. We're not showing it. I don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
And we're on X. We're live on X right now.
Yeah. We're good on X. And the chat is active. There are people in there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So for everybody that doesn't know, if you want to go to our Rumble channel, okay, and Christian said we keep skipping too. That's weird.
Yeah, on Rumble? He's on Rumble.
It could be StreamYard software. It could be Rumble. Who the hell knows? But let me tell you guys, if you want to get in the chat, for some reason, X and YouTube are not showing on the screen, go to our Rumble page, which is also Secret America TV. In fact, let me see real quick. It's rumble.com/Secret America TV. Go to our Rumble page right there, get in the chat there, and then we'll be able to see you on the screen. But for now, for some reason, it's only Rumble showing, which is very weird.
I'm going to go on the Rumble right now, and let me see. We're on there. Yeah, I don't know if it's skipping on Christian's end. I don't know why, but yeah, I see him. We're on.
Yeah, it's just X and YouTube. But yeah, anybody, rumble.com/Secret America TV. Follow us there and go on there. Just in case you can't chat for some reason, you can go there and chat. That's the one that seems to be working at the moment. Okay, Jay, you want to see something that is unbelievable? What they're finally doing. And I got to say, this is a bad thing and it's a good thing. Can something be both bad and good?
Yeah.
This is bad and good. All right, let me tell you what's happening in Yorkshire, in England, in the UK right now. They are wanting to take migrants, illegal immigrants, off the military bases, about 1,500 of them, and they want to put them in North Yorkshire, which, for people that don't know, is the affluent, rich part of town. They are extremely upset about it. And guess what? If they do put the migrants there, the number that they want to put there, migrants will outnumber women 6-1. 6-1. Illegal immigrants will outnumber the rich, affluent Yorkshire women 6-1. Imagine what's going to happen there. I'm talking robberies, rapes, breaking and enterings. I mean, the horrible shit. 6-1. Gang rapes are going to happen everywhere. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. The illegal immigrants that force their way into your country, they're criminals. So, and they cause a lot of problems. I could see gang rapes going up by 1,000% in North Yorkshire. But the good part, Jay, let me get to the good part. The good part is the fact that they are actually starting to distribute them into the rich areas. For right now, they've only been keeping it on poor women, on the poor areas. But the new prime minister, Jay, new prime minister said, we're getting them out. They're getting the migrants out. But while we still have them, we need to redistribute them instead of having them all on top of poor people. And I think that's wonderful. That's the good part. The bad part is what it's going to cause. But the good part is at least they're thinking about the poor people, you know?
Yeah, they'll get a taste of the policies that they keep voting for.
Absolutely. So that prime minister's already better than Starmer, just for this one idea.
Yeah, but I guess he is. I don't know that he's good, but I guess this is a good decision.
This one decision is better than anything Starmer ever did.
No, that's for sure. We looked at what was that map we looked at yesterday with the
that was the map of England with all the Islamic mosques.
Yeah, exactly. So you might as well spread this around everywhere. And it's gonna. We should have had this on our episode the other day of what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah.
Because what could possibly go wrong when we're going to do this?
This is going to be terrible, Jay. 6-1. 6-1.
What you brought up about people, countries that, when countries kind of let their people go to another country, they're not. And President Trump said this when he first ran, when he came down the escalator in 2015. And he said they're not sending their best. And people, oh my God, no, that's a fact. And that's a fact everywhere. These countries are not sending their doctors and their lawyers and their teachers. No, they're emptying their damn jails and the dregs of their society and pushing them off on you. That's what they're doing.
Did you see it, Jay? This is exactly, and I want to say Jimmy Carter was the precursor to this, because this is exactly what Fidel Castro and Cuba did with the Mariel boat lift.
Are you literally reading my mind right now?
The Mariel boat lift was the same thing.
Because I swear to God, strike me down right now. I was going to bring up the movie Scarface just now and talk about exactly that. When they dumped 25,000 criminals into our country.
All criminals, all of them taken out of the jails, out of the insane asylums, off the homeless streets, the drug addicts, all negative, all put on boats and sent. And Jimmy Carter, we welcome them with open arms. That's Jimmy Carter.
Yep, and that's how you ended up with Tony Montana.
Yeah, exactly. And so that may not be a true story, the Montana thing, but let me tell you, it's as close to nonfiction as it can get. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie is framed around a real thing.
Oh, that not only, Jay, there was probably, I would say, out of all those people, there was probably 1,000 Tony Montanas, not just the one. Could you imagine spread across the country?
Exactly. And if you haven't seen Scarface, you should absolutely see it. It's a phenomenal movie. And as you said, it's framed around true events that happened in this country with Cuba, 100%.
And it's great how it starts. It actually starts with the Mariel boat lift and they all getting off. And then they go to these makeshift detention camps, which was real. They built these underneath the freeways, underneath the bridges with fence, chain link fence and barbed wire. Okay. Then they gave them cots and big tents to live in until they could either verify what was going on, but they just let them out on the street anyway. I don't even know why they had the detention centers. They just let them all out anyway, because they even said one day it was filled to the brim. The next day there's nobody in there. And they sure as hell didn't send them back to Cuba. So Jimmy Carter is the precursor to a Joe Biden. And Joe Biden was the devil.
Yeah. I think they called those detention centers Freedom Town.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Libertad.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's so funny because I swear as you said that, I was going to bring up the exact same thing from that movie because it's true. Exactly. That is true. What happened?
Whenever I hear illegal migrants coming over, or someone sending their migrants with, emptying their jails, I immediately think Mariel boat lift for two reasons. One, because of Scarface, but two, because of Cocaine Cowboys. If you guys have ever seen the documentary Cocaine Cowboys, it is about the cocaine dealers in the late 70s and early 80s in Miami. and the Mariel boat lift exploded that industry. So it was the documentary had a lot to do with the Mariel boat lift. It really exploded the industry. And so when I hear migrants, that's the first thing I think of: Mariel boat lift and Jimmy Carter saying we welcome them with open arms. He was a terrible president. One term, terrible president.
And that's what happened on steroids with Joe Biden's administration.
Oh,
I mean, talk about emptying the prisons of all of these countries and just sending them here.
That's the difference. It was every country. For Carter, it was just Cuba. Right. But for Biden, I mean, you had El Salvador, you had Brazil, you had Cuba, Mexico, Venezuela, Nicaragua. I mean, it was crazy.
Name it. And there's so many of them that are still here, and we don't even know where the hell they are.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's Jay, there's something that is really freaking crazy I want to talk about. Okay. So we all know how Islam is taking over America. And hold on one second. Beast had something to say. He said, and Jack, I said, excellent book so far. LOL. Had a dog emergency, so I haven't finished. When I do, I will write a review on Scamazon, and my wife always does. Thank you very much. And yes, Amazon has scammed the hell out of me when it comes to royalties. I ain't making, $5 a book for a $30 book, but the reviews really help. Right now, there's 22 reviews on Amazon, all 5 stars. So that helps a lot for future publishers, possibly, maybe for the next book. But Jay, there's something that I want to talk to you about that we all know that Islam is taking over America. Hell, it's taking over the world. But you know how what they're doing is they're accommodating Islam now, with the washing stations at Dallas, the foot bath, so that way they can pray on the ground. Well, get this. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are now offering Sharia compliant home loans. Sharia compliant home loans. Listen to this. Fannie Mae uses a code for Musharaka Islamic finance mortgages, where buyers co-own the property and gradually buy out the financier's share. Freddie Mac backs products like Ijara lease to own models and others designed to comply with Sharia, avoiding prohibited interest through partnerships and leases. Under Sharia law, apparently, interest is prohibited. So I got to say, Muhammad, he must have been a genius. He must have known about interest thousands of years ago. I got to say, that's pretty smart. But anyways, it's ridiculous, actually. I'm being sarcastic. But avoiding prohibited interest through partnerships or leases, these options offered by providers like Guidance Residential, and Devon Bank since 2003 aim to boost homeownership for observant Muslims with tax treatments. U.S. Director of Federal Housing Bill Pulte is reviewing the accommodations amid questions about fairness and religious accommodations. Jay, what the hell is going on? We're talking about mortgages that are designed to accommodate Sharia law by giving them less interest than you would get.
Here's the good news, I believe, Jack. I think that well, it's ridiculous. First of all, the whole thing's got to stop, because we shouldn't be making rules to accommodate Sharia law in this country. It's absurd.
No. And it's also discrimination upon religious basis.
Yeah, they're getting benefits because of their religion. That's against the law on its face. But apparently, Jack, you can apply for this, and they can't deny you, because it says
observant Muslim. So I don't know what that means.
I'm observing. Prove that I'm not. You can't do that. I'm telling you, I'm an observant Muslim. Prove that I'm not an observant Muslim. Then I want to test that one out.
I'm about to test it out. I'm going to ask Grok, actually. How do they stop scammers from doing it? I'm going to ask real quick. I'm going to say, let's see now.
I mean, to me, you can't. I'm telling you, I'm an observant Muslim. You're going to investigate me to see my religion? What?
Well, hey, if they're willing to discriminate based on religion, they're willing to investigate religion.
Yeah, let's see. Because
Grok says, now it's trying to explain it, but up there, how it says they don't. Applicants for Sharia compliant home financing products from providers like yada, 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 do not need to prove they're Muslim or declare any religion at all.
There you go.
Jay, you know what that means? Yeah. That means that it's not going to be counted illegal. It's not going to be counted as illegal. It's still going to be Sharia compliant, but it's not going to be able to be illegal. And Jay, get this. You know how they're going to get around it? I'm going to tell you exactly how they're going to get around it. You can look at someone and tell if they're an observant Muslim. Okay. Observant Muslims wear the garb.
I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it.
But Jay, I'm telling you right now, they're gonna base it on your race and your looks also.
I'm pretty dark. I think I can get away with it.
Jay, what they did was brilliant. I got to admit, they did it as brilliant. They made it to where it's Sharia law compliant, but they also made it to where you don't have to prove it and you don't have to even say you're part of the religion. But what they do is anybody that comes in and does it, if they're Muslim, they give it to them. If they look at them and say, okay, you're Muslim, in their head, okay, you're Muslim. Yep, you got it. And if they say, no, you don't qualify. They can do that, and they're not being They're not being discriminatory. That is brilliant, Jay.
Okay, hold on. I'm playing devil's advocate here, right?
Go ahead.
Okay. They're going to tell me why am I being denied? Oh, because we don't think you're Muslim?
They don't have to give a reason. They don't have to give a reason.
Well, then here's what needs to happen right now. They have to look at who's been approved for these mortgages and who hasn't been approved, and find out if there's a pattern here now. Because
that's harder to prove.
That is harder to prove. But it's time to start looking at it. And I'm telling you right now, if anybody should be, wherever this is available, anybody should be going in there and applying for this mortgage.
Absolutely.
100%.
Prohibited interest? Are you kidding me?
And dress up like Nick Shirley did when he went and voted and in Minnesota, and he put on the full garb. Just go in there like that. What?
Absolutely.
I can wear whatever I want.
I'm glad you actually brought that up, Jay, because there's something else that I wanted to show people, or actually that I wanted to just tell you and others. Apparently now in Minnesota, Jay, and apparently in Minnesota now you can vote without a voter ID and also vouch for 8 other people to vote. You can vouch for them, any 8 people you want. But get this, Jay. There's one, let me find it real quick. There's one instance. Here it is. Get this. So if you're a registered Minnesota voter, you can vouch for up to 8 people that don't have ID. You do have to have ID, but you can vouch for 8 people that don't. But listen to this. Right. This is where it gets crazy. If you are if you are a employee of a resident facility, you can actually vouch for unlimited facility residents. So let's say, Jay, that you live at a Muslim compound with 1,000 Muslims who don't have ID and aren't registered Minnesota voters. You can vouch, that one person, for all 1,000 of them.
Yep. Same thing in a nursing home. Same thing in a nursing home.
Yep.
You can vouch for everybody in that nursing home, and you're basically voting for them at that point.
This is how you take over a state. This is why you take over a state, like they did Michigan.
Exactly. That law. Yeah. Oh, we have a voter ID law. Do you really, though? No. You don't.
Not if you could vouch for 8 people.
It's not a voter
One
ID
out of
law.
every 8, Jay, has to have a voter ID. One out of every 8.
I'd rather just make it none. And that
it's
I can.
insane.
How about just make it none, like I have here in New York, where I don't have to show ID when I vote. You know what they do? They ask you, what's your address? If you try to hand, Jack, when I go to vote, if I try to hand the person there my ID, they will not take it.
In California, they can be arrested for taking your ID, Jay. Did you know that?
I didn't know that
They
far.
made a law in California where if you show your ID, say, hey, I want to show my ID to prove who I am. If they touch it, if they take it, they can be arrested.
Insane. And in New York, I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is true here too.
It might be. I don't know.
It might be. Here's what I have to do. I tell them my address, and then they make you sign your name on the little tablet with your finger, or a little pen, the little thing they give you, whatever, on the computer screen. And then they're looking at it like they're handwriting experts. And a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, one time he went, and the woman's like, that's not your signature. He's like, here's my ID. No, I can't look at your ID.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. You're telling me that's not my signature. First of all, who are you? Are you a qualified expert in handwriting?
And you can't sign on a tablet the same way you can on a piece of paper.
You can't. Exactly. And by the way, what if I felt like changing my signature this year?
You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. But now you're going to tell me you can't tell me that's me. And if I try to prove it with my New York State driver's license issued by the government, you can't look at it. This is the absurdity. It's like the WNBA not being able to tell what a woman is after they meet for 12 hours.
Absolutely.
It's the same kind of absurdity.
Absolutely. All right, Jay, get this. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I just wanted to mention it. China, okay, has an experimental bullet train that just broke the world acceleration record. I want you to listen to this, okay? It went 0 to 497 miles per hour in 5 seconds.
That's pretty good.
That's 0 to 500 miles per hour in 5 seconds. That's what? How's that possible?
I don't know. That sounds like a rocket.
It's unbelievable. 800. It says 0 to 5.3 seconds in 800 kilometers, which is 497 miles per hour. That's incredible.
I gotta be honest. I'm not getting on that train.
No, hell no. How could somebody it's 4.3 G's. Okay. How could somebody withstand 4.3 G's of force?
You probably can't, right? What you have to have like a jet pilot has a mask on with oxygen.
Absolutely. Just like the astronauts. They can only handle so many G's of force.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I don't know. But how does the structure of the train hold up?
How does it accelerate?
I don't know.
I'd like to know how it accelerates, but it's experimental, so they don't have the technology. I mean,
I want to see do you have a video of this?
No, I'm gonna look actually. But while I'm looking, Jay, let's talk about something else. I'm gonna look for that video right now, actually.
All right.
But while I'm looking, I want to talk for a second about daylight savings time and Trump wanting to call to make it permanent. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I love the spring forward and the fall back. But second, did you know that in the continental United States, if we canceled daylight savings time or made it permanent, it would, in some places in America, it would be dark at 3:45 p.m. 3:45 p.m. it would get dark, and it would stay dark in some places until 9 a.m. And I just don't like that. Even if it's not in my part of the country, I don't know, but 3:45 is insane.
Where is it? Where would that happen?
Northeast part of the country.
Well, I'm in the Northeast.
Yeah, in your area.
What are they saying they want to do? Like right now we're in spring. Well, right now we're in spring ahead.
That's what they want to make permanent. The summer daylight savings time.
They want to make spring ahead permanent.
Why, Jay? What I don't understand is why is this on their radar? Why does this matter? There's so many other things. Jay, what the hell does it matter?
Let me go to my phone for a second and go to Truth Social because he posted about this last night.
I want to know why it matters.
All right. Let me see because he posts so much. Let me see if I could find it. Excuse me while I scroll on my phone.
No, you're fine. Why are they talking about it? Why is this legislation that they're considering? Well, why can't you do what we want you to do? Consider the Save America Act and pass the son of a bitch. But instead, you want the daylight saving. Jay, they don't want Save America. They want Save Daylight.
Well, you know, the Senate doesn't want it. That's for sure.
Jeez.
Well, this passed the House too. Let's see what the Senate does with it. I bet you, listen, the Senate doesn't get anything done whether we like it or not.
Good.
So they'll probably screw this up too. But
on this, I am okay with them slow balling daylight savings time permanent. I'm okay with that.
Oh, let me see if I could find it, man.
I want to find that video of the bullet train.
What he was doing today, he was like endorsing a bunch of people like he does, Congress.
Oh, yeah, I know.
There's a ton of truths that I'm scrolling through right now. But last night he did post specifically on daylight savings, and he talked about a lot of the reasons why he liked it. Where is it? Okay, here it is. So he says, for many years, the vast majority of Americans have asked to make daylight savings time permanent, but no administration has been able to get it properly done until now. I am proud to announce that the House of Representatives has passed the bill, and it has now gone to the Senate for final approval. People are sick and tired of having to change their clocks twice a year. It is foolish and convenient. I mean, some people don't care. It was foolish, inconvenient, and in some cases very costly. For cities and states with watchtowers and hard to reach places, it costs millions of dollars. A recent case was made that it also is bad for your health and the anxiety it creates. Leading medical crime and economic studies have shown that ceasing the biannual time change, giving us 1 extra hour of natural sunlight in the evenings, will help decrease robbery and murder rates, reduce car accidents, especially those involving pedestrians. Lower risk.
Wait. Hold on, Jay. You just said making daylight savings time permanent will help to decrease robberies. That's what you're saying?
Because it's an extra hour of daylight.
So that'll save us from robberies.
At night. So there will be less night darkness. So,
but that 1 hour of daylight savings time will help stop robberies.
He's saying it will lower the number of robberies.
Yeah, so it'll help stop them.
What did he say exactly? Make it safer hold on. Reduce car accidents, lower cardiac stroke. Wait, where is the thing? Decrease robbery
Yeah,
and
so
murder rates.
it'll stop robberies and murder.
Decrease. He says decrease robbery and murder
Well,
rates.
decrease it also means to not have as many, to stop.
Right. To not have as many.
Yeah, so that means that it'll stop them. It'll like that hour, that 1 hour, all the robberies that were going to be in that 1 hour are now not going to happen because of daylight savings time.
Because the theory, I guess, would be that it's not dark out and people commit less robberies and murders in the daylight. Which I mean,
it's just ridiculous that this is a thing. Why are we talking about this?
Let's read the rest. Let's read the rest of the reasoning.
Well, no, it's too long, man. Come on.
I'll do it fast. I promise. I promise. All right. So it says lower risk for cardiac issues, stroke, and seasonal depression. Make it safer for children to walk home from school. Increase time with your family. Strongly support extracurricular activities. Be a big boost to sports, fitness, tourism, retail, and the restaurant industries and more. And save money on energy bills because everyone will be enjoying the extra hour of daylight. In other words, leave it as of now and never change again. This is an issue Republicans, Democrats, and independents can unite behind. I'm asking the Republican senators to pass the Sunshine Protection Act ASAP. There you go.
Jay, what he's missing is it's an extra hour of daylight at night, but it's an extra hour of darkness in the morning. Well, so it kind of cancels itself out.
Well, here's the reasoning. And I'm just giving you the reasoning is that in the morning, people are sleeping. More stuff bad happens at the nighttime or in the afternoon when everybody's out. In the mornings, a lot of people aren't out yet. They're not out and about. They're getting their day started. They're not in the flow of the day at that point.
But you're talking about robberies at 4 and 5 o'clock.
In the afternoon or during the winter. I mean, during the winter when it's dark at like 4 or 5 o'clock. I guess
it's insane. There's no reason that this should be a thing. Jay, we got way more important things to do. We're doing the Save Daylight Act now, not the Save America Act. Save Day. It's ridiculous. I like changing the clocks back and forth. To be honest with you, I like getting an extra hour of sleep in the freaking fall. I like getting the extra hour of sleep. I mean, let's enjoy. Why do we have to change everything? Jay, why can't we just have some American traditions stay true? Why do we have to change every single thing?
When did they start daylight savings time?
Oh man, it was actually started. Did you want to know the truth? It was started because back when people sailed ships, they used the moon to navigate. That is actually why they started daylight savings time.
Okay.
So it's been a long time.
Okay. Listen, when I was working, I really hated it. Because I worked overnights and I had to do the payroll, and it turned the day you flip the clocks back and forth. It was a nightmare.
You also get off an hour early though. On that one night, you get off an hour early, still get paid for the same amount of time. Oh yeah,
technically, but it just made the timekeeping such a pain in the ass.
For payroll people, yes. For payroll people. But for people that don't do payroll, you get off an hour. It's like having an extra hour of PTO.
Well, just look at it this way now, Jack. You're gonna have an extra hour of daylight for the rest of your life.
Oh, that's just what I want. An extra hour. I like it being daylight till 9 o'clock during the summers and getting dark at 5:30 in the winters. I want it to stay that way.
We're down to here. I mean, it gets dark in the winter. You know, when you're coming up to the shortest day of the year, which is December 21st. In December, you're looking at 4:30. It's dark.
That's when it starts to, for here, that's when the sun starts to go down. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
we're on the same, you and I are on the same sun.
We're in the same line if you own, straight up.
But it gets darker early. But in the winter, I enjoy that because you're inside anyway, Yeah,
but you're not even home from work yet, a lot of people, and it's dark out.
I just don't like the fact of we have to change something just for the sake of changing it. We do that with everything in America.
Listen, he gave a lot of reasons there, Jack. Whether we agree with him or not is another story.
It'll stop heart attacks. You sold me at stopping heart attacks.
And anxiety. If you have anxiety because of daylight savings time, you got more problems than daylight savings time.
If you're having heart attacks because it's dark outside, you've got more problems.
I almost, if we had the time, I would like to look at the reasoning on the heart attacks. Like, how does that affect? Am I missing something? Like, how would that affect it?
I don't know. But I got the video. Jay, there wasn't actually video on the bullet train, but there was a rendering of it. And I want to show you guys this because it's really freaking cool, man. I got to say. So check this out. This is just a rendering of the bullet train that went, 800 kilometers in 5.3 seconds. Look how fast this thing would extend.
1, 2, 3, 4.
you see what it says? It
Yeah, the
floats on magnets, Jay. It actually flies. You know how you have a negative and a positive side of a magnet, or two negatives. You push it together and you can't get it to stay on each other. That's the principle behind this bullet train. They put magnets under the train and magnets in the track, so there's no friction. No, there's no wheels on tracks. That's why it's able to go so much faster, because it's literally a flying train.
I mean, this is great, but could we put it at like 150 miles an hour?
How could you? I worry about controlling it. Jay, have you ever tried to push two magnets together?
Yeah, it's like this. You're like, yeah,
it's hard to control.
You can't.
No, so I worry about this.
And by the way, it's interesting that they only have a rendering and we don't have a video,
I know.
Isn't it?
Well, I don't think they want people to see their technology, because I gotta say, if they can keep that thing on the track, that's pretty damn impressive.
That's the key. Got to keep it on the tracks.
That's the hard part. Yes. we got just another minute left, another couple minutes. So I want to real quick, I want to see if there's anything that we left out, because I'm just going to say a few things real quick. 3/4 of every Gen Z adult still relies on their parents for financial support. Texas temporarily pauses a new data center grid because power requests have reached 474 gigawatts. More than 1,800 projects. Do you remember when Doc Brown said 1.21 gigawatts was an unbelievable amount of power?
Yeah.
Data centers in Texas are now using 474 gigawatts. We should be able to go back in time with that amount of power. So, that's why they had to pause some things, because that amount of power is unbelievable. Fauci reportedly scrubbed his entire contact list from his phone from the COVID era. Scrubbed the entire thing.
I think there was 3 contacts left, I believe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there might have been three left.
They could find out who they were. They'll have to search. They're doing a research. They can match them up. They can match up those. They can figure it out.
Let me ask you something, Jay. Have you ever texted somebody and say, you know what? I hope this text gets to them tomorrow instead of right now. Have you ever texted somebody and say, hey, I hope this text takes 20 hours to get to me?
Never.
Never? Well, let me tell you something, Jay. A developer just built a messaging app that sends text at, quote, pigeon carrier speed, taking roughly 22 hours from Los Angeles to New York. But let me tell you, Jay, no pigeon can fly 22 hours from Los Angeles to New York. That is a 3,000-mile trip.
What's the purpose here?
I have no freaking idea, but he developed a messaging app that literally simulates a pigeon carrying a note, and it takes a full day for somebody to get your text.
Okay, how about I could do that myself? I'll put the text in, and I'll set an alarm, and then I'll send it when the alarm goes off.
Jay, they say there's an app for everything, and now there really is an app for everything. All right, man.
I can't wait to not download that one.
Yeah, me neither. I am, I'm thinking about not downloading it myself. Okay. Guys, make sure you check out maxassociates.etsy.com. It really is the #1 place for USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. Scan the QR code at the top right, or go to maxassociates.etsy.com. Specifically for Secret America viewers, you get 20% off your order. Put in the code SECRET20. That's SECRET20 at checkout. Get 20% off your order. maxassociates.etsy.com. Also, guys, check it out. The book By Design. All right. It lets you experience life. It lets you experience the rise of America's first Black president as the events unfold, from the moment the CIA gives their project a name all the way to the swearing in at the White House, through the lens of a political thriller where there's far more happening behind the scenes than anyone ever realized. It's fast-paced, suspenseful, and filled with twists that blur the line between official narratives and conspiracy theories. Get it on Amazon, or go to our website, secretamericalive.com, to get the audiobook, or to grab a signed copy where I will write a personal message and ship it out to you. Also, guys, Secret America gear available also on secretamericalive.com. If you enjoy the show, get yourself a shirt, hat, mug, whatever you want, phone case, candle. We got everything you could possibly want, and you can get it at secretamericalive.com. Guys, make sure you follow and subscribe to us, okay? X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Instagram. It's very important that you follow and subscribe because we're trying to gauge how much of an impact we make. That's why we do this show. We do this show for free. We don't charge anybody anything. We pay our own money. So, I mean, we do this show for free. In fact, we're in the negative because we pay our own money. So subscribe and follow X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Instagram. The screen name is Secret America TV for every single social media out there, okay? We are live every single weekday, Monday through Friday. So make sure you guys watch us every single weekday. We are live. All right, Jay, I think we've solved all the problems that we can for one day. So for Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.